Hey everybody, how are you? Good to see you. It's Thursday. Welcome to Cruise Chat Live. I am Walter. Where's Walter Travel, your travel advisor? And as always, I have my lovely wife Rebecca sitting right off camera over here. So today is 185 days till Christmas. Yes, I really do have a countdown sitting over there. I just run it all year long. So on Christmas Day, we just start over at 364. I know, I'm crazy. Hi, Christy. How are you? Good evening. I hope everything is good in Texas. I hope it's not 150 degrees down there. We had the wickedest thunderstorm come through Orlando. Holy shamoly. It was a big one. So got the warnings, got emails, got texts, got everything. So it was pretty big and pretty wicked today. So I hope everybody's doing well. Holy moly. Hey, Marco. Hello in Anchorage. How are you? You're just a little bit cooler than we are down here. But thank you so much for joining in. I really do appreciate it. Wow, what are you, like 5 hours behind us? 4 hours? 4 hours behind us? Something like that. Becky. Hello, Becky. How are you? Becky has the most fun family in the world. We just booked that Panama Canal cruise. What a hoot that was, hanging out on the phone with everybody. Y'all are a lot of fun. I have really fun clients, and I'm very blessed. Really, really, really fun clients. So welcome to the show. And obviously, if there's anything we can ever do to help your travel, please do reach out. We are a full-service travel agency. As we like to say, our services are free, but your members are priceless. I like that tag. That's just fun to say. Hey, Scott. How are you, Scott? Good to see you. Thanks so much for joining in the show. Heather. Hello, Heather. Thanks so much for joining in. It's good to see everybody. Thanks for coming to the show tonight. So what I thought we would jump into tonight, I got my little friend here. I don't know if you all saw the TikTok. Hello. Okay, enough of that. But my little friend, the Minion, and we're going to be talking about Universal Studios very shortly. So yes, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Jessica. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks so much for joining in. But yesterday, no, excuse me, it's been a couple days now. Tuesday, Royal Caribbean took the wraps off of Utopia of the Seas, and they gave us a really nice in-depth, about 30-minute call with them. Hey, Macrina. I hope I'm saying that right. Hi, Macrina. Good to see you. Thanks so much for joining in. Good to see you. But the Utopia of the Seas is coming in July of 2024. In fact, I think it's July 22nd is the first cruise. She is up for sale right now. Bookings are open. I was taking a look at her today. Bookings start around say $1,000 for two people in an interior. Now she's doing 3 nights. In fact, let's just bring it up on the screen. She is going to do 3 and 4 night itineraries out of Port Canaveral, and every single one of them is going to Coco Cay. In fact, every single one of them is the same itinerary. You're going to do Nassau and Coco Cay, but the 4 night will have a sea day in there. That's the only difference between them. And you know, oh, yay, Macrina, thank you. I'm so glad I got that right. But he's going to do 3 and 4 nighters out of Port Canaveral. And, you know, some folks have been commenting, Jesus, such a big ship. You know, that's a really short cruise. But it's kind of what the market wants, at least in the Orlando area, as the Disney Wish has been proving. So this ship is going to kind of go head-to-head with the Disney Wish, because Disney Wish is doing 3 and 4 nighters, and every single cruise goes to Castaway Cay. And I think they all go to Nassau as well. So it's basically, you can go on the Disney Wish, you can go on the Utopia of the Seas. You're basically going to get the same cruise, except one goes to Castaway Cay, one goes to Ocean Cay. And I think it's a very interesting move by Royal Caribbean to bring this brand spanking new ship over here to do this. And yes, it is really big. Yes, there's no way you're going to get to do everything on the ship in only one cruise. That's what Royal Caribbean is hoping for. Or, you know, maybe you get a taste of the Oasis class, and then you're like, you know what, I want to spend a week. So the Wonder is also sailing out of Port Canaveral for 7 nights. And now you've got choices. You can go 7 nights on the Wonder of the Seas, or you can go 4 and 3 and do what, you know, Royal Caribbean is calling world's biggest weekend. Well, you know what? Why stop at the weekend for me? Why not just make it the world's biggest vacation and tie in some Universal? I mean, why not? You got Harry Potter, you got Velociraptors. My goodness, if you've never gone on the Velocicoaster and you're a coaster fan, shame on you. Amazing, amazing roller coaster. But you can seriously, tie in Universal a 2 or 3 day, probably 3 days if you really want to see everything and then you want to do some things again. So 3 days at Universal and then tie that in with a 3 or 4 night cruise, and you're going amazing theme park and you're going on to one of the world's largest cruise ships. To me, that just makes total sense, right? So Disney's got that right now with the Wish. You can go to Disney World and then you go on to the Disney Wish. Well, why not the same thing? And hey, if you want to go to Disney and then go on to the Utopia of the Seas, and why not? We've also got SeaWorld down here. We've got Legoland down here. I mean, we've got Theme Park City. So you could spend 3 or 4 days in Orlando and then go spend 3 or 4 days on one of the world's largest cruise ships out there. I think this is a brilliant move by Royal Caribbean, and I can't wait to start putting some folks onto this ship. We're kind of looking at it. Like I said, it looks like it starts around $1,000 for a 3-nighter for 2 people in an interior. It might go down beyond that, but I was looking around August, September. She's going to launch July 22nd. Obviously, the first 2 cruises, they are the highest. And then after that, you get into August, you get into September, into the normal, quieter time. It does drop off a little bit there. So she's actually fairly reasonably priced for, doing the 4 and 3 nights. Certainly quite a bit different pricing than the Disney Wish. So if you're looking for that 3 or 4 night, and maybe you're going to the theme park and you're like, I would love to go on the Disney Wish. I just don't have the funds right now. This would be a great alternative because it definitely is much more budget friendly, if you will, for a 3 and a 4 night cruise on a ship this big. So yeah, I think it's going to be absolutely cool. And I literally have like 5 pages of notes on this. And what's really interesting about the Utopia, she kind of went dark for the longest time, right? It's like they announced the name, and then it went like 4 or 5 months. We didn't hear a thing about it because it was icon. Look over here, icon. I knocked it off the screen. So sorry. Slapping my keyboard there. But icon. See, the icon is even affecting. See, it went dark again. Icon. You did that. Icon. Star Trek reference for those of you old enough to remember that movie. Christy, what are you saying here? If Disney did a double like Universal and a cruise, I would be so down. A week and 7-day cruise. Well, you can. Actually, Christy, you totally can. You can go on. Which one is it? The Fantasy?
Fantasy.
Yeah, the Fantasy is in Port Canaveral right now, so you can do 7 nights very easily.
I believe it's Saturday this Saturday.
Yeah. So basically, Royal Caribbean and Disney now are going to have the exact same thing. You can go on a 7-nighter on the Fantasy or the Wonder, the Wonder of the Seas, or you can do the 4-3 with the Wish, or you can do the 4-3 with the Utopia when it gets here. So you already can do the 7-night. And the Disney Dream is doing, I think, 6 and 7-nighters out of Lauderdale, or Miami. Right now, Miami, soon to be Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. So yeah, you can do it right now, Christy, if you want. But for some people, that's just a little too much, right? You spend a week at Disney, and then you're gonna, drop more money onto the Disney Wish. Or even just doing 7 nights. And for a lot of people, 14 days, they just can't do full 14 days as much as they'd love to. So maybe they'll do 4 at the theme park, 3 on the ship, or maybe 4 and 4 kind of a thing. So yeah, that's how I would do it. I would totally do 7 at the park, 7 on a ship. But for a lot of people, they can't. But if you do want to do that right now, Disney has it. The Disney Fantasy, that's the ship that we actually went on. Loved it. Beautiful, beautiful ship. I mean, there's just no denying. You can say anything you want about Disney. They build absolutely stunning ships. They have amazing service. The food is awesome. So if you're just putting like food and service and the entertainment side by side, Disney's going to win. Although with the entertainment, I mean, Royal Caribbean's entertainment is really, really good. So, maybe we'll call it a wash entertainment, but when it comes to food and service, Disney will definitely be a step above Royal Caribbean, but then you're also paying for that service. So, when you pay a little bit more, you expect that extra level of service, and Disney does not disappoint with that. So I think it's a brilliant move by Royal Caribbean to go ahead and bring this ship in. Now they're going to have bizarre. They're going to have 2 Oasis class ships running out of Port Canaveral. one of them doing the full week and then one of them doing the weekend. But my goodness, let's break down the Utopia of the Seas a little bit here. She's open for sale today. Today that she went open for sale. This is very interesting. Look at the second thing on this screen. She is the 6th Oasis class ship. She's not the final Oasis class ship. She's the 6th. So Royal Caribbean is not saying, we're never going to bring one, this is the last one. It's like, no, this is the 6th one. We leave the door open that maybe 7's going to come along. Maybe 8 is going to come along. We haven't closed the door on the Oasis class, which is very interesting with the icon of the Seas coming out. We already know they've started the second one, so we know there's 2 icons that are going to be out there. Yeah, group cruise. So many people. I said it last week that we were going to start working on some group cruises for next year, and we just really haven't had the time to do it. But there are a bunch of group cruises already setting up on Utopia as well. I don't know how many of my folks watching it would want to do a 3 or a 4 night, because I know a lot of people would be flying in. But if you wanted to tie it together, theme park visit, yeah, that would certainly be a lot of fun. So we will definitely be considering that. Cindy. Hello, welcome to the show. We're talking Utopia, and Universal. So thanks for joining in. So again, she's the 6th ship. She, as we talked about, doing 3 and 4 nighters, sailing from Port Canaveral. Every single itinerary will go to Perfect Day at Coco Cay. And she's actually the first ship in the class. You notice she's the first ship in the class to be powered by LNG. So again, kind of leaving the door open here. Will there be more Oasis class ships? I would not be surprised. Remember, Wonder of the Seas was built for the Asian market. And then after the pandemic and all of that got shut down, she got retrofitted. They pulled a lot of stuff that was originally in there for the Asian market. They refitted her for over here. Could they go ahead and build another one? Because remember, Disney has that massive ship, the Genting Global Dream, or whatever that ship was called, that they're going to release in the Asian market. It would make sense for Royal Caribbean to either relocate one of the current ships or to build another Oasis class just for the Asian market. So that's going to be very interesting to watch where this all goes with. This is the 6th ship. So I really think we're going to have a 7th one. So here's some of the facts. She 236,860 gross tons. I don't know if she is. I don't know if she's bigger than Wonder. I meant to actually check the numbers to see if she's bigger. So if anybody's checking your Google, see if she's bigger than Wonder or not. I'm actually not. She's got 2,834 staterooms. She is 154 feet wide at the waterline. At double occupancy, she can do 56, 68 guests, probably pushing about 6,500 at full occupancy. I don't think she doesn't have quite as many and quads. Like the Icon was really built for triples and quads. She can go up to like 7,500 like that when she's absolutely
What was
full.
it you were wanting?
The gross tons.
Wonder is 236,857.
So this is bigger by 3. Three gross tons. That's hilarious. So this is bigger than the Wonder of the Seas by 3 gross tons. They probably added a janitor's closet somewhere on the ship, and that made it the extra space. Heather's saying that if we did a group
karaoke rooms.
It's the karaoke rooms. Yeah. So we'll talk about what's on the ship in a minute. Heather's saying if we did a group cruise, she would be very interested in it. Yes. I know folks have been asking us when are we going to start doing some group cruises for next year? Soon. We'll announce some soon. We have just been you all have been like you don't know how amazing you all have been. We've been so busy and we're so blessed, and we thank you so very much for all of your support. Let's dive into this. So bigger ways to splash, as they're saying. So they've got 5 pools on board, 8 whirlpools. They've got the Caribbean's largest freshwater pool, which is at Coco Cay. 1,500-foot zip line at Coco Cay. That's the one weird thing about this graphic. They kind of make, they're kind of blending Coco Cay and the ship together. And of course, they got the tallest water slide. But on the ship itself, you've got 5 pools and you've got 8 whirlpools on the ship itself. And one of the cool things that they're doing, the Ultimate Abyss has been modified so that they can reclaim the title longest dry slide at sea. Now, the MSC, I think World Europa, stole the title with their Venom drop. But if you take,
I think they just stole the tallest.
oh, the tallest. Okay, I thought they
which,
stole the longest too.
maybe.
But if you look at the very top of this picture, you'll notice that it has a couple of extra swirls in it, so that made it longer. It's actually got a clear part. You notice that it's purple and then it kind of goes white. That's actually clear, so you're going to come out of it. And they said they put some rollers in it, so it's going to be much faster than the original one. So that was the thing I noticed when we were on Symphony. I'm like, that wasn't very fast. It's kind of, in fact, I stopped short and I kind of had to, scooch my way out. But they are claiming that this is much, much faster. So let's break down some things about the Utopia. So there's over 40 ways to eat on the ship. So I said there's 5 pools on board. There's a VIP private casita area near the pools, which is kind of rather interesting. 3 slides on deck 16. One of the cool things that they've done by the pool, they've got like this food truck concept. Like, it looks like a food truck. It's a quick serve location, but it looks like a quick truck. It's going to have some quick bites and stuff out there by the main pool. The main pool is huge. They're still going to have the dual pools on either side of Central Park up there on the top. So hopefully they don't turn too quick like Harmony did and just dump a whole bunch of water down into Central Park. But let's hope they don't do that. You got the Cantina Fresca bar. Is going to be near the El Loco Fresh. I took so many freaking notes on this thing. Oh, okay. I'm jumping into dining. Hold on a minute. I'm going to bring the dining up on screen so y'all can see this. Let's move myself back. There we go. So 21 dining options on the ship itself. 5 dining spots at Perfect Day Coco Cay. Now they have 6 teppanyaki tables in the Izumi, which I believe they said largest of any of their ships at sea. 6 flavors of ice cream at Sprinkle. Now, Sprinkles has been supersized. There are more soft serve locations, and then they've got 4 different kind of sprinkles over on the side. That's where you will find me. If I'm not getting an old fashioned at the Pesky Parrot, then I am probably getting ice cream and sprinkles. Yes, just so you know. And then this thing on the lower left, a new immersive train dining experience, which I have to say looked an awful lot like the Hogwarts Express idea, just from the tunnel they were showing and everything like that. So here I think they're trying to one-up Disney just a little bit. Although Disney has the whole, Marvel dining experience, and I think they're trying to come up. And for me, it sounds like it's an adult experience. It did not necessarily sound like it was a family-based experience. You're going to get cocktails at the station first. So you're going to meet up at the station. You're going to have cocktails and things like that. Then you're going to go inside the restaurant, which is going to be a train car. You're going to be in a train car with full immersion. You are going to go on a train ride, and it will be a culinary journey plus a scenic journey, going through countryside and going through, whatever that's all they said. They said, and they showed a picture of a tunnel that really had Harry Potter all over it. It reminded me of, if you've done the Hogwarts Express at Universal, sort of kind of felt a little bit like that, with the tunnel and everything. So that's all they said. They said, we're just going to show you this picture. We're just going to talk about it. We'll tell you much more about it later. So what that opens the door for, and I think would be kind of cool, what if they did a murder, Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express? Wouldn't that be kind of cool? A mystery dinner theater on there. So they're bringing some sort of immersive train entertainment. Maybe they could do the Polar Express at Christmas. Wouldn't that be cool, right? They bring out the hot chocolate and everything, just like in the movie. Oh my God, that's cool. So that's all they said. They said it is a new immersive train car dining experience. And that's it. And out of the 21 dining options on the ship, have 10 complimentary. And one of the things that I love that they're bringing forward onto this ship from the icon, they actually borrowed from the icon of the seas already. They are doing Izumi in the park. Oh, I was excited to hear about that. because it's just a walk-up sushi bar, and it looks like they had the picture that they were showing with some sort of bowl with lots of whipped cream and strawberries and things like that. Really nice looking dessert. Oh my God, I'm so excited about this. I am so excited about this. What else have I got in here? Yeah, I got the immersive dining. Yeah, the adventures inside. Oh, Giovanni's. Holy shamoly. Giovanni's is massive. Now, if you've been on the ship that have Wonderland, Wonderland is a big 2-story restaurant with the glass looking out over the boardwalk. That's where Giovanni's is now. It does not look like there's going to be a Wonderland on this ship, or if there is, it's going to be in a different location. It's going to be a different setup. But Giovanni's is now that big 2-story restaurant on the glass looking out over the boardwalk. She looks absolutely huge, humongous. The mason jar is going to be back. Chopped Grill is going to be reinvented with the trellis bar now being more a part of the restaurant. Right now, the trellis bar is just basically like a trellis out in Central Park. Now it looks like it's actually going to have a space where you can go sit in. There's going to be a sommelier and all this other stuff. So they're upgrading the trellis grill as well. And then Hooked Seafood is going to be back. That was one of our favorite things on the Symphony of the Seas. Hooked Seafood. Rebecca loved Hooked Seafood.
It was very good.
It was very, very good. So that's what's coming in the bigger ways to dine. And I mentioned the Pesky Parrot. So one of my favorite bars on all of Royal Caribbean, I don't know about you guys, but there's a bar called the Bamboo Bar on the Mariner of the Seas. I think it's on a couple of other ships as well, and I think it's all the same class, that Voyager class. I absolutely love the Bamboo Bar. And this looks like a much bigger version of that. I mean, I love tiki bars. I just think tiki bars are just so much fun. And the Pesky Parrot is basically a much bigger tiki bar, and that is where you're going to find me. Stephen is saying that Wonderland is gone based on another source. It very well could be. You know, they did not mention it. It's been a big restaurant, something that they've mentioned quite a bit on other ships, and they didn't say a word about Wonderland during the reveal. So the fact that Giovanni's is now there tells me that Wonderland is probably gone. But boy, did Giovanni's get an upgrade. I'm telling you, Giovanni's, it looks nice. I can't wait to see what this actually looks like on the ship. But again, the Pesky Parrot. And one of the things, it kind of looks like, what surprised me was Icon of the Seas really did lean into the adults. If you've really looked at what they've shown for the adults at night, they've got the swim up bar, they got things like that, but especially the bars and the evening lounges. It looked like Icon has really leaned into the adults. Like, yes, this is a big, loud family ship, but we know that the adults are going to want to do things without the kids at night. And it looked kind of like Utopia sort of kind of leaned into a little bit of that as well. So like the Pesky Parrot being a little bit of a larger version of what the Bamboo Bar has been in the past on the other ships. So I am really, really excited for this. Now, one of the things that they did is absolutely amazing. So they came up with 3 more categories, 3 more cabin categories on this particular ship, just for this ship. And the one that I am most excited about is the one I'm going to show you right now, which is the Solarium Suite. This is sitting on top of the bridge. You know, I think they did say they're still going to have that observatory area, you know, where you can stand up on top of the bridge and you can look out over the bow of the ship. But this is right off the bridge. This is the new Solarium Suite. And they're also introducing a Sky Junior Suite. But look at the cabin. Look at this amazing view. I mean, you're basically going to have the same view as the captain and every bridge. You can look back. You can look forward. What an amazing, amazing cabin. And I got to say, it wasn't stupid expensive. They're very expensive. The Royal Suite is back. The Royal Loft Suite is back. The Ultimate Family, not the Ultimate Family Townhouse, it's the Ultimate Family Suite, I think is what they call it, because it's the only townhouse on the Icon. But this is the suite. This is the one I want to stay in, you know, one time when we go. I mean, this is absolutely stunning. I stayed like right up there. Now, the one thing about this suite, there is no balcony that I can see, because they basically, instead of leaving room for a balcony, they just made the suite completely huge. And then
It
they've
kind of
got,
sounded like it might have been more like an infinite balcony.
well, it's right there in the picture.
Yeah.
You probably can't film, but
Oh, okay.
for those of you who are watching, if you look at the area right by, there's a little round table with 4 people there. The window, I think, is actually open right there. So there's either one or infinite pieces of glass that are going to come on down, just like an infinite balcony. So that's how they set this one up. But then they've also added the Sky Junior Suite. So now they have a junior suite at that Sky level. They've had it at the sea level, but it was never a Sky Suite. Now you can get a junior suite that is a Sky Suite level. But this is the one, I'm telling you, I love this cabin. I mean, you can see it from the view looking at the sofa. Look at that view that you've got just sitting. I mean, I would just sit in that cabin all day long. I'd invite all my friends up. Hey, let's have an old fashioned. Come on up. Let's go sit upstairs. I can't imagine what the sunset is going to look like from that particular cabin as well. But wow, wowie, wow, wow. But they've added three new categories. One, just very simple thing that they did, they have a square interior now. So instead of it being rectangular, it's square. So it just has so much more room in it, which is really, really nice. So, let's see. Tom, question, will the new area be open and will back-to-back have discounts? Back-to-back don't have discounts. They're just 2 separate cruises. Princess is one of the only that I know of. That and MSC
Holland does a few.
Yeah, Holland does a few, and then MSC sells them as 3s, 4s, 7s, and 10s. It's the same cruise, but they just sell it as a longer itinerary. But with the 3s and the 4s they are independent cruises, just like everything else. So there is no discount to go back to back. The new area in the Bahamas. So I assume you're talking about in Nassau, where Royal Caribbean is building that new beach area. That's not going to be included in your cruise fare. That is actually a paid beach location, and that location is open to anybody. It's not just for Royal Caribbean ships. Anybody who's coming into Nassau can pay to go to that beach location. On Coco Cay itself, they are building an adult area, is what they're building right now. But yes, the island. So it's not an island at Nassau. It's like a little strip right along the side of the harbor where the ships come in.
He's talking about the.
If you're talking about Coco Cay, the new adult area is supposed to be open, I think, in the 4th quarter of this year. So that will be open. If you're talking about the adult area, if you're talking about the stuff in Nassau, that's going to be open, I believe, in late 2024 sometime. But again, that will not be included with your Royal Caribbean fare. You will have to pay extra to go to that, and anybody on any ship can go to that as well. So yeah, but in terms of the all adult area, I think it's called Hideaway Beach. That's supposed to be open in the 4th quarter of this year on Coco Cay. So, and the last I heard, there was no charge to go there. So that could change, but the last we heard, there was no charge to go to the adult-only beach. So hopefully they'll keep that, because I mean, you don't have to pay to go to the solarium, and the solarium is adult only. So hopefully they'll keep with that. Thank you, Tom. Thank you for asking the question. Appreciate it. Anybody else have any questions about Royal Caribbean or anything else to do with cruising? Please go ahead and drop them in the comments. Do our best. And again, we are a full-service travel agency. So if there's anything we can do to help you with your travels, our services are free. Your memories are priceless. Take us up on it. We enjoy doing this. On the ship, you're going to find 28 bars and lounges. 28. And there's going to be 4 primary shows. So, unless you take the 4-nighter, you may not see all 4 shows. I guess you can go to early and late.
Matinees,
yeah.
Usually.
Well, I don't know if they're going to do matinees on this, because I mean, especially the 3-nighters, you're going to be in port. You're going to have a sea day, so I guess on the 4-nighter. So they won't run a matinee while they're in port. I doubt. They might, but I doubt it. But they're going to have 4 primary shows. So you're going to have the ice show, you're going to have the water show, and it sounds like you're going to have 2 stage shows. And then, of course, all the music. There's so much music throughout the ship. You'll have that at night as well. There's 6 to go dancing. And this Playmakers is going to have 68 television. So if you want to watch sports, you will be able to watch sports quite easily in Playmakers. 68, count them, 68 television. I will go in there and count them.
That sounds like a nightmare to me.
I know Rebecca hates sports, but I'm going to go in there and I'm going to count. And so help me, if there's not 68 in there, you will hear about it. And so will Royal Caribbean.
But we don't know how many different channels they're actually going to be showing.
They can show a lot. You know, we've got all of our European football. We got our American football. We got baseball. We got hockey. We got basketball.
But I mean, some of the TVs
we got Little League. We got go-karts. We got snooker. We got darts. We got so much to see right now. We can fill up 68 so easily. Here's a really cool thing. We're going to have two versions of Casino Royale, and one will be non-smoking. It will be the smaller one, but they will have a non-smoking casino of Casino Royale. So that, I think that's a really, really great idea. Now, Spotlight Karaoke. This is going to be interesting. They're going to have private booths. Now, if any of you have watched our Scarlet Lady vlog, you have listened to me sing. Not bad. Yeah, no, not really. I'm not that good. But I do know the words to Copacabana, so we were singing Copacabana. And on the Scarlet Lady, they're included. There's no charge for the booths. But on the Utopia of the Seas, there will be a fee to reserve the private karaoke booth. That's all we know. They didn't tell us how much.
But it also does sound like they will have the more public karaoke.
Oh, they're definitely going to have it. Yeah, no. So the Spotlight Karaoke is still going to be there.
Yeah.
Exactly as it is now. But they're adding the private booths as well, which is, to me, I don't think I have laughed so hard in my life as I did in private karaoke when we were on Scarlet Lady. That was so flipping much fun. And I'm definitely going to do that. We have 14 cabins of folks joining us on the Valiant Lady for Thanksgiving. I know we're going to do some karaoke on that. I can't wait to do that on there. Oh my God, it's going to be so much fun. But that's all we know. They didn't tell us the fee. They didn't tell us. I assume you can rent it by the hour. That's what would be my guess. Maybe 30-minute increments, but probably by the hour. Or maybe some will be for 30 minutes. Some will be for an hour. We don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. And we don't know how many of them they have. Let's see. What do we got? We got Boleros. We got the music hall. The English pub on this one will be the Bell and Barley. That should be a lot of fun. The Attic Comedy Club will be back. 3 new categories of cabins. Talked about that. The square shape. The Ultimate Family Suite. The Ultimate Family Suite can take up to 10 people. 10 people in the Ultimate Family Suite. So, you know, you got a big group with a bunch of kids. I don't know how many adults would fit comfortably in there, but 10 people. There are, I believe, 2 sets of bunk beds for the kids.
I think there's one. If it's like some of the other ones, there's one room with 2 sets of bunk beds. So 4 children could.
We actually haven't looked at the actual layout because everything just came live today. So I have to go in there and check out the layout. But 10 people in the Ultimate Family. And then the Royal Loft Suite can take 6 guests. So that is what I have on the Utopia of the Sea. So again, she's going to start sailing July of 2024, July 22nd to be exact, if she holds on schedule. As we always say, you know, you take chances when you book that very first inaugural cruise. You hope that it's going to go when it's supposed to, but of late, especially since the pandemic, we've not had the best luck of ships actually sailing when they're supposed to. So hopefully everybody who's booked, now there is plenty of room on that July 22nd sailing. If you'd like to be on that very first sailing, there's actually still plenty of room on it. It is more expensive. I want to say the interiors are starting around $2,400 for 2 people. But then it drops down to about $1,000 for 2 people, you know, as you get into August and September. So it's actually reasonably priced. I think it's priced more than a 7-night probably if you did the back-to-back, but it's not exorbitantly different, to be honest with you, because the Wonder is there. So you've got the Wonder of the Seas and you're going to have the Utopia of the Seas in the same port. So I don't think it's like an exorbitantly different pricing than Wonder, except for those first sailings. And of course, for the holidays, it's going to be really expensive. But if you're trying to do you know, you really don't have the budget for it, or you spend the money on, say, a Disney Wish, now you've got a nice alternative, and you've got a really, really big alternative to the Disney Wish. Yes, Jessica, on the international feeds, not all games are available. You're absolutely correct on that, but they do their best. We were on the Symphony of the Seas during the World Cup finals, and they played the games on the big screen at the Aqua Theater, which was hilarious. I couldn't tell you how many people were down there, but it was the finals. We were way up. We were way up by El Loco Fresh, you know, up on the top, like deck 16 or whatever that is, looking down at the boardwalk. And when the game ended, I mean, it just erupted back there, and you could hear it like, oh my God, it was so awesome to see that. I didn't even know they did that, to be honest with you. They were showing movies at night. They were showing sports during the day. It was very, very cool back there. But they do their best. They can only do so much, right? With getting the games. And of course, it's all with the satellites and everything. You may or may not get the certain games. One of our colleagues, and in fact, one of the host agencies that I'm with now, we actually host the Super Cruise, I think they call it. It's their 30th year this year. It's the Super Bowl at sea. I want to say it's the Symphony. It is one of the Oasis class ships. So if you want to go watch the Super Bowl on the Symphony of the Seas, just reach out. We can put you on the Super Cruise. I think they've had up to like 2,500 people or something like that just for the Super Bowl. So, and we saw the Super Bowl one year. We were on our Panama Canal cruise on the Island Princess, which if Becky's still watching, that's the ship we just booked Becky on. We were on the Island Princess, and we saw the Super Bowl. I remember it was the Colts. I don't remember who the Colts played, but the Colts lost because it was back when Peyton Manning was on the Colts. And I remember that. It might have been the Dallas Cowboys at the time. I don't know.
I think, as I recall, that was the day before we were disembarking. So yes. I think I went upstairs and packed.
She went up and packed. We were all watching the game. She went up and packed. And I got to say, it's a lot of fun to watch Super Bowl, watch sports, and watch things like that. So when we were on the Symphony of the Seas, the NFL playoffs, I don't know if it was the playoffs yet or we were like right at the end of the season. But of course, the Buffalo Bills were having a heck of a run, and there were so many people watching the Buffalo Bills game out by Playmakers. It was hilarious. So, but yeah, sports on a cruise ship, I think it's a lot of fun. Rebecca hates it. I think it's a lot of fun.
It's not like I hate.
She doesn't like sports
on a cruise ship. I don't get the appeal.
She doesn't get the appeal. So, and as this graphic has been showing you on the screen, you know, right now with the Utopia of the Seas coming in, I think you guys could have a lot of fun, especially if you have families, going to Universal, going to Disney, going to SeaWorld, going to Legoland, wherever you guys want to go. Spend 3 or 4 days here in Orlando, have a great time at the theme park, and then go hop on one of the world's largest cruise ships, or go on the world's largest cruise ship and then come on back into Orlando and have a great time at the theme parks. I mean, I'm telling you, if you've never ridden Velocicoaster, people, wow. Because just when you think, you know, you can catch your breath, you can't, because you hit that second launch, which shoots you right up into the hi-hat, which is just the most spectacular part of the entire ride, where you almost come to a stop and you get lifted up out of your seat, and then you go down that, I don't know, 100 and something foot drop on the other side. Just amazing. Rebecca can do it once, and then she's got to take a break.
Well, I did it once. I'm good. I don't need to ever do it again.
And now it's on the Express Pass. I will just be going round in a loop on that thing until I finally say no more. I like to go fast. I really like to go fast. I love roller coasters.
I used to like it, and now as I've gotten older, I get like dizzy and disoriented, and it takes me a while to recover. Much less fun.
And we need to go. Hello. We need to go see Minion Land. Minion Land has been soft opening now. Now, if you've not been to Universal Studios in a while, you used to walk in and Shrek was on your right. That was like the big thing. You had Shrek on your right, and then you had the Minion, whatever, where you got shrunk down into Minion Mayhem on the left. Well, now Shrek is gone. The new ride is coming in. The new attraction is coming in where you're going to audition to be one of the bad guys. And then the Minion Cafe is open, and there's another Minion thing on. So it's now Minion Land as you walk into Universal Studios. I am so excited. I love the Minion. These are like some of my favorite guys. So if you're coming on down to Universal, absolutely. Oh, it's just so much fun. Tom's got a great idea too. You go down to the Kennedy Space Center, watch the launch, and hang out at the beach. Let me tell you, the Kennedy Space Center is absolutely amazing. I love the Kennedy Space Center. It's actually a great spot to go before or after a cruise. I mean, you could spend 2 days at the Kennedy Space Center very easily, because I could have spent a whole day just in the Saturn V building looking at all of that stuff. But my goodness, you know, Cape Canaveral, Cocoa Beach, all of that, such a great way. In fact, I've got some clients who are going on, I want to say they're going on the Carnival Mardi Gras, maybe, one of the Carnival ships, and they're coming in to spend 2 or 3 days at Cocoa Beach before going out on the cruise, because the husband is a big, you know, big science geek, big space geek. And I'm like, oh my God, we can actually see the launches, especially when they're at night. I can go in my backyard and I can see the SpaceX launches, no problem. I love it. When that very first private mission went up, I could actually see it all the way through to the second stage burn. It was absolutely unbelievable. I loved it so much. But yeah, that's what I would, you know, that's what I would do. I personally, if I was coming on down here, I would hit the theme parks and do the cruise, or do the cruise and hit the, you know what? I'd probably do the cruise first. And you know why? Because the airport is here in Orlando. So I would go do the cruise, have a good time out on the ship, and then come back and then do the theme park. Of course, the cruise is generally more relaxing than the theme park. So yeah, maybe we want to do it the other way around.
I don't know how relaxing the Utopia is going to be.
The what?
I don't know how relaxing.
Oh, Utopia. Well, it can be.
Mean, yes,
it's still got the spa, still got all that stuff.
It can be, but it does seem like it could also be, you know, a lot of stuff to do and see.
There's a lot of stuff to do. I mean, because you're only going to be on it for 3 or 4 days. So you got to get it done. You got to get everything done. You got to eat everything you can. You got to drink everything you can. You got to see everything you can. So Utopia of the Seas is coming July of 2024. And of course, the Icon of the Seas has just completed her very first sea trials. Congratulations. Apparently she came through with flying colors. But they really didn't, you know, really all they were testing right now was just a propulsion system. And then they were doing a lot of vibration tests throughout the ship. I think she was out for 4 days. The next test, when she's basically done, or very close to being completed, she will go out for another set of sea trials. And that's when they will really push her to the limit. I know they did some emergency braking and some things like that, but they will really push the Icon of the Seas to her limit when she goes out the next time. And one thing that we learned from Captain Kate during all the Beyond sea trials and everything, you know, when they go out for sea trials, the captain is not in command of the ship. It's actually the shipyard is in command of the ship until the ship officially gets turned over to the cruise line. So the captain is an observer. They can go on board, they can watch, they can see all of that, but they cannot touch the controls of the ship. But when they go out for the for the final sea trials, what Captain Kate said was the captain gets 1 hour to do whatever they want. They're given the controls of a ship and they can just do whatever they want for 1 hour. And she says she likes to do basically like big donuts and big turns, because she wants to see, that's like her signature thing. She wants to see how the ship, you know, reacts to turning and things like that. But I found that very interesting, and I never even thought about that, you know, the cruise line doesn't have the ship yet. So the captain is not allowed to take control of a ship except for that 1 hour during the second sea trial. So that should be really interesting. See what that is. Yes, Tom, it is a really exciting time to be in the cruise industry right now. We have, I think, around 70 more ships still coming, 60 plus more ships coming now in the next 4 years. When I first started talking about it, it was 5 years. Now it's 4 years. The Norwegian Viva is coming very shortly. She's going to be out of San Juan for a while, which is going to be amazing. Now, San Juan, this is another really cool thing to talk about. If you've been doing Caribbean cruises and you're like, you know, I've kind of done everything, I think I've seen all the ports. Well, start this winter, we're going to have the Virgin Voyages Brilliant Lady, the Norwegian Viva, the Royal Caribbean Jewel of the Seas. And I think there will be a couple of luxury liners down there as well, doing Caribbean cruises from San Juan. And when you do a Caribbean cruise from San Juan, you're already like 2 days further than all the other ships are starting that are here in Florida. So, they're doing Trinidad, Tobago, they're doing Guadeloupe, they're doing itineraries that we just simply can't do unless you're doing like a 14 or, maybe a 20-day cruise from Florida, from San Juan in 7 days. Like the Norwegian Viva has one itinerary, literally 7 days, 7 stops. I mean, I've never been on a Caribbean cruise that has 7 stops, like a stop every single day. So if you've been really interested in going down into the Caribbean, but it's like, I want to do something different, you just got to fly down to San Juan, and now suddenly a whole new slew of itineraries are going to open up. Like, I think Virgin Voyages' best itineraries are going to be out of San Juan. The one that we're going on with the Valiant Lady, I think is their best one out of Miami. It's an 8-night Eastern Antilles, Eastern Caribbean Antilles, they call it. I think that's their best itinerary out of Miami. I encourage everybody to get on that one because they have like the 5 main eateries, and their cruises are, 5-night, 4-night. You may or may not have a chance to get in every restaurant, but if you go on 8 nights, you've got plenty of time to hit all the restaurants and go do it. So that's a really exciting turn of events that's happening. If you've been keeping up with it, there's been a lot of construction going on down in San Juan. They're building a whole new terminal, a new pier for 4 ships. Then they're going to renovate, or maybe they're doing it concurrently. They're going to renovate the old pier. But the idea is that on any given day, 8 ships can be in San Juan, which is going to be insane because 7 can be in Nassau. So that's 1 more ship than can be in Nassau. That's going to be a lot of ships coming into San Juan, which I don't know if San Juan can handle 8 ships, especially 8 big ones. But that's what's happening down there, and that's all coming very soon with these new ships coming out. The Brilliant Lady will launch, I think, December 30th. The New Year's cruise will be her. Actually, no, she's launching on Christmas Eve. So she's going to have 2 cruises, 1 cruise before the New Year, and then the New Year's cruise, because we actually have a client. They're going to do the first cruise from Miami down to San Juan. Then there's actually a 1-day break, and then the Mermaiden out of San Juan for 7 days into the Southern Caribbean. It's an amazing itinerary. I think, it is their best itinerary in the Caribbean. So you got the Valiant Lady for 8 nights, or you've got 7 nights on the Brilliant Lady. Now, the Brilliant Lady's only doing 2 itineraries. She's doing 7 nights one way, 7 nights another way. But man, it looks like a lot of fun down there. Now, their Greece one, if you have not seen, there's still plenty of room on this cruise. Well, I don't want to say plenty of room, but there's still room on this cruise. Richard Branson is hosting a 50th anniversary celebration for the Virgin brand. It's 50 years since he launched Virgin. Unbelievable. August 27th from Athens or Piraeus or whatever. I think it's Piraeus is where the port actually is. August 27th will be a 7-night cruise on the Resilient Lady. Richard Branson will be on the ship. Leaders from his company will be on the ship. They're going to have fireside chats. They're going to have TED Talk type things. They're going to have special entertainment. They're going to have special cuisine. It is a celebration of all things Virgin, and the idea is that you're actually going to be able to learn some of the behind the scenes, how the company operates now, how they built the brand, all that really cool stuff from Richard himself and some of his other leaders from the company. So there is still room on that cruise. It sails August 27th from Greece this year. And if you're a solo or a single traveler, there is 0 supplement on this cruise. I have one guest that I know likes to travel solo, and she said, "I get a balcony with someone else." And I told her, I said, there's no solo supplement, and it's about $300 more per person to get their own cabin versus sharing a cabin. So they both have their own cabin. I put them side by side. They can open up the balcony so they can have their own rooms, their own bathrooms, and then they can share the balcony and just hang out together out on the balcony. So if you want to go on this Richard Branson thing and you don't necessarily have anybody to go with you, you can go as a solo traveler and get a balcony for the price of 1. It's really, really a great deal. And that's for all of Virgin Voyages in Europe this summer. No single supplement. So you got the Valiant Lady and we got the Resilient Lady sailing over in Europe. You can go as a solo traveler. You can book any cabin on the ship, and you pay for 1 person. You don't pay for 2. Now, if you weren't here after my trip down to the cruise convention, I did learn why you actually have to pay for 2 people. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with the bed in the cabin or the second person who's not in that cabin. It has everything to do with the lifeboats. You see, what the Coast Guard measures the capacity on the lifeboat is based on the berths in the cabin. So when you're a solo person and there's 2 berths in that cabin, you are taking up 2 spots in the lifeboat. That's how they don't count it that there's only 1 person in that cabin. They count it as the 2 berths in that lifeboat. When you go with a solo traveler, you're actually taking up one of the berths in the lifeboat, and that's why you're actually paying that second person, because they can't do a triple or a quad somewhere else in that area because you've taken up that spot in the lifeboat. I thought that was very interesting. So that's actually why you pay double, not because of the second bed, but because you're taking up that second berth. So there you go. So if anybody has any questions about cruising at all or travel in general, please go ahead and drop them down in there. We'll hang out for a few more minutes. But that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. I really wanted to talk about, again, here, I'll show you the itineraries. She's doing 3 nights. She's doing 4 nights. The only between the itineraries really is you're going to get a sea day. I would take the 4 nights just to get that sea day, just so you get a little extra time to, try to do all the things you can. Or, you could do it back-to-back. But I wouldn't necessarily do a back-to-back on this one. If you really want to do 7 nights, just go on the Wonder. That's what the Wonder is there for. So the Wonder of Seas is still doing the 7 nights. Would you say you think Saturday? No, it's Sunday.
That was fantasy.
Fantasy, but the Wonder is doing Sunday to Sunday because we went out on the MSC side on Sunday and we were there with the Wonder of the Seas. Absolutely beautiful ship. So you have options with Royal Caribbean now if you want to do Port Canaveral. And you want to do the really, really big ship, because Royal Caribbean does still have, I don't know if it's the Mariner or one like that. They do have a Voyager class out of here. They also have a Freedom class ship out of here as well at Port Canaveral. But if you want to do 7 nights on an Oasis class ship, go do the Wonder of the Seas. If you want to do a 4 or 3 night, you got Utopia. And actually, I think it's the Allure of the Seas. I'm going to start doing this itinerary first. Maybe it's the Harmony, and then the Allure is coming in. I know the Allure will be leaving Galveston at some point, and then Harmony is going to go to Galveston, so she'll still have an Oasis class ship. And I know the Allure is coming to Port Canaveral as well. I think Allure is going to do this itinerary until the Utopia shows up. So they'll already be starting to do those. But then I'm saying, you can turn this into the ultimate vacation, tying at Universal. We got Walt Disney World. We've got SeaWorld. Which, my goodness, that new pipeline coaster where you stand up and you basically go on a surfboard. Holy moly, that looks absolutely amazing. So I think SeaWorld actually had more roller coasters in one park than anybody else. Universal has Islands of Adventure and they've got Universal Studios. So between the two, they might have more, but in just one park. And SeaWorld is so well priced. It is definitely the cheapest of the main theme parks down here. So if all you want a coaster, take a good look at SeaWorld. They've got some really good roller coasters over there. And then you can go ahead and hop on to what is this? This is the Utopia of the Seas. I still think that's a weird name. I'm still not completely sold on the name, but I mean, it's too late now. It's already on the, I still think it's kind of a funny name, but she is definitely going to have a lot of really nice bells and whistles on her. So if you're looking to do a Universal or a Orlando vacation, but you want to throw a little cruise in there as well, Utopia is going to be a great option. And I think maybe even like the Mariner type of ship as well. So there you go. That's what I had tonight. Thank you so much for joining in with us. If there's anything we can do to help you with your travel, certainly we'll be here every Thursday night. We're going to start having some guests on in the near future. We're going to have American Cruise Line, MSC, Royal Caribbean that we're talking about tonight. DCL Duo, I think, is next week. So if you want to talk about Disney Cruise Line, DCL Duo, who has a podcast and all kinds of videos on Disney Cruise Line. If you have questions on Disney Cruise Line, next week will be the week to tune in because they will be joining me for the hour. I cannot wait. And as we move forward, we're working on getting even more guests to come join us every single Thursday. So it's not just me talking to you guys. We'll have some more interesting folks coming on to join me. Of course, every Saturday morning, we are on TikTok at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time on our TikTok channel. And every Thursday night, we will be here at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Of course, on Sunday mornings, we also do a simulcast here on YouTube as well. That's been really working out well. We got our TikTok audience, we got our YouTube audience, and we have one big conversation. Really been having a great chat. So folks, thank you so much for joining in. Everybody, really appreciate you spending an hour with us. And if we can do anything to help you guys out with your travel, please do reach out. Links are in the description. where'swaltertravel.com. Love to talk to you and help you just really take some amazing adventures out there. All right, folks. So thank you so much. We'll see you next Thursday here. We'll see you Sunday morning over on TikTok. Good night, everybody.